Aerial view of Kinder Morgan's Trans Mountain Marine Terminal, in Burnaby, BC, is shown on Tuesday, May 29, 2018. Jonathan Hayward, the Canadian Press OTTAWA, the company planning to build the taxpayer-owned Trans Mountain pipeline expansion is set to release its final price tag for the project at the end of November, executives at the firm said Thursday. The comments were made on Thursday in a conference call with Canada Development Investment Corporation, CDEV, a government holding company that oversees financial transactions for Trans Mountain Corp., the newly formed Crown Corporation that operates the existing Trans Mountain pipeline. CDEV executives also suggested during the call that part of the pipeline expansion costs would be funded by budget deficits. The original deal to purchase Trans Mountain from Kinder Morgan was valued at $4.5 billion. Trans Mountain did not elaborate on what the final value of the purchase might be. "We're still working on this information," said Stephen Swafield, chair of CDEV. In corporate takeovers, it is typical for firms to release so-called adjusted final costs for the assets they buy, which can fluctuate up or down after the initial purchase is announced. OTTAWA first said it would buy the existing pipeline in May 2018 as a way to de-risk the project, which has for years been marred by regulatory and legal delays. It officially closed the purchase in August. Trans Mountain confirmed Friday that the November financial document would not include an update on the roughly $9 billion cost to expand the project, which is in addition to the $4.5 billion OTTAWA spent to buy the existing pipeline and storage terminals. That expansion would nearly triple current pipeline capacity of around 300,000 barrels of oil per day. Swafield suggested the expansion could be partly supplied by a general fund that would ultimately increase government expenditures, potentially increasing OTTAWA's annual deficit. The expansion will need a significant amount of additional funds during its construction. Swafield said in the Thursday conference call. OTTAWA's initial $4.5 billion purchase was largely funded through loans from Economic Development Canada, EDC. Swafield said the expansion could also be funded by EDC loans, but might leverage other appropriations involving the government's main bank account. Swafield did not elaborate on how much of the funding would come from loans versus regular government expenditures. Dipping directly into government coffers could potentially weigh on OTTAWA's attempt to reduce its deficit, one analyst said Thursday. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau made a campaign promise to run deficits of no more than $10 billion per year, and balance the budget in 2019-20. Those deficits have since ballooned to nearly double that figure, and the Liberals have since abandoned their plans to return to a surplus. Swafield said it could also fund part of the expansion using revenues from its existing pipeline and storage assets, which were previously owned by Calgary-based Kinder Morgan Canada Limited. Construction of the Trans Mountain expansion has been stalled since late August after a federal court of appeal ruling said the Crown did not meet its duty to consult with Indigenous communities along the pipeline route. OTTAWA has since formulated a plan to repeat a portion of its consultations and widen its regulatory scope of the project, which will set back the project by months. Email, jsnyder@postmedia.com, Twitter, Jesse_Snyder.